This is today's random thought. Matter of fact, this may be the biggest, best random thought I will ever tell you all. And I'm telling it to you very shortly after this has happened. Matter of fact, hours. I believe it's 7 o'clock right now. This happened about 5 or 6 hours ago, okay? And this ain't no bullshit. And normally I wouldn't put myself on blast like this, because trust me, this thought will never leave my mind. But I think it's a terrific story, and I want to be one with my shame, so to speak. So I'm going to tell you the story. It's not so much necessarily a random thought, but it is the king of random slipping / fuck ups that I'll probably ever have. All right. I'm not a video game collector. I don't necessarily go out to flea markets. I don't, necessarily go out to video game stores all the time. I'm not necessarily trying to get a full collection, although I do have a bunch of Nintendo games, Sega Saturn. I got a bunch of systems, but I have them more so that if I get some games that I want to play, that I can put them into any of the various systems that that are available and play some decent games. Because like I said, I don't ever anticipate getting box collections or anything like that, like the Angry Video Game Nerd or Pat or any of those guys. There are definitely other channels that are terrific that I follow, like Jay the Video Game Guy, Sega Saturn, other guys who are into the collecting shit, Matt64, if I remember his name, who are into the collecting stuff. That's not going to be me. This is never going to be what this channel is about. But anyways, I know that was a long expression, but I'm going to tell you this because I'm sorry I'm rambling, because I can't even believe this happened, alright? And just to give you an idea, just because I don't necessarily collect or I'm going to have a full thing, doesn't mean I don't know what random games are. I'm always looking. I know top lists for certain games like Super Nintendo, stuff that if I see it for a couple of bucks, I know better not to than just leave it there where it is. Okay? So this is what kills me the most. Now, some of you who know the Game Chasers, which I'm sure just about all of you know the Game Chasers, they found a golden gem of a place, of retro heaven, so to speak, in Arkansas, in Malvern, which is just a little bit out of Little Rock where I live. And ever since I watched their episode, I've been going out there to check out their stuff, and trust me, they have terrific stuff. The owner's awesome. All the employees are great. They have great retro stuff. I mean, it's just definitely heaven. It's one of those stores that there's a few of them still around that the original proprietors run that's just terrific. They're nice people. The prices aren't overblown, and every once in a while you can find a gem in there. And to give you an idea on this, in Game Chasers, their first time they went there, or it may have been the second, I can't remember, Billy found a copy of Metal Warrior, which is a pretty rare NES game, and he got it for $5. Okay, that's probably the biggest score I think he's ever gotten from there. I don't know, in all time ever if someone's gotten there, but that was a good score, all right? And I've talked to the proprietor about that before, because I've been there a couple times, and he's a cool guy, and we talked about that as well. But this story that I'm about to tell you is probably even bigger than that one. There may be some other ones that people have gotten out of there, and just like any video game store, you pass over something, but this may be the biggest, okay? I'm not necessarily the biggest Super Nintendo collector, but I know, like I said, I know the games that are rare. And it just happened to be, when I went in today, I had some Sega CD Model 2s that I was going to be trading in, and me and Mike had come up with a trade, the owner there, for an Intellivision, or not Intellivision, a ColecoVision with the Atari expansion on it. And I got the original booklet, and everything's original on it, and it was, to me, it was a great trade. Sega CDs are worth a fair amount of money, but I already have one. I just happen to have these two that I fixed blown fuses on, and now I got them up. So we just did an even trade for the two. It worked out great for me, because I got like I said, I got a ColecoVision with the expansion on it, and now I can start building up. Instead of having an Atari, I can just plug that in and use that as an Atari model, and then I still have the Coleco on the other side. So it was definitely a good score all the way around. But anyways, first off, I'm in there. We're doing the trade. I'm showing him that the Sega CDs that I brought into him work, so that we can finish it all up. I'm just in the middle of doing the initial trade for the ColecoVision when some other gentlemen who had been in there before, who said they're from Dallas, and they found out about this place from the Game Chasers. We're looking around, browsing through the stuff like most retro guys do. Takes a lot of time to browse through because he's got an amazing collection. And I see him check out. They buy like 2 or 3 things and they leave. So, getting ready, getting finished to putting up the stuff, we make the deal on the trade and shake hands, and that trade's done. About right as we're finishing this, I'm standing over the counter, necessarily where some of the games are, where he has the display for the more higher priced Nintendo, Super Nintendo 64s. So I'm not necessarily looking at him, but we're talking, and I'm sure I would have gotten to him, because every time I go there I always sweep the place to see if he gets any new inventory or stock in. Gentleman comes in, asks, hey, can I get that game in the cabinet? Mind you, it's the game that's right below where my eyes are, right where my hand is. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't looking in there. He goes, can I get that game? That Donkey Kong. The worker there goes, sure. He pulls it out. Goes, this one? Yeah. It's got a $50 price tag on it. Donkey Kong Country. Don't think anything about it. Didn't even like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then as he turns it, and I'm looking at the employee of it, the employee turns it around, and I'm looking at it. It says Donkey Kong Country Competition Challenge, whatever edition or cart, with the little sticker up on the top right. As I see it, I don't really necessarily believe it. Goes off, guy buys it, walks out. No more than 2 minutes. At this point, I'm still trying to gather my thoughts as of what just happened here. And then I go, after the sale, I go back and I talk to Mike and them. I go, what was that he just sold? My mind is reeling at this point. What the hell just happened? Did he really just buy that? Where did it come from? And I talked to Mike, and he had mentioned that, or yesterday, I think it might have been the day, or it might have been yesterday, that he had some games he was looking for at his house. He had some. His wife told him to sell them, so he brought them up and he sold them. He said it had only been sitting in the case for a day. And he goes, he had put $50 on it because Donkey Kong Country usually sells for $25. He figured this is a different kind of edition, the competition edition. Saw the sticker up there, put double the price, put $50 on it. And I go, so that was an original? He said, yeah, I'd had it in my closet or in my house for, multiple years. Maybe he said 16 years. And his wife wanted to sell it, so he sold it. And at that point, like I said, I knew if that's what it was kind of rare. So I look it up on my phone, make sure that that's what it was that he bought. Then I talk to Mike and I go, shit! Essentially, anyone, you can look on price guides. I don't know exactly how, set in stone, but I would imagine it's a pretty good reference average for some of the pricing go. Because some of the 12 games or top 20 games that I've seen on there, that's about reasonable for what they're asking. Mega Man, Evo, stuff like that. The other competition or the test Star Fox cartridge. But I'm going to go off, like I said, I'm going off what they're saying on their price guide online. And, Donkey Kong Country, that particular cart is number 4 from the top. The other 3 above them being in the 1,000 range for loose average. The Donkey Kong being 900. And we have a discussion about that, me and the proprietor, Mike, and I think he's just as surprised as anybody, and I'm still in shock. I spent a good hour or two shopping in there after that, and I'm still in shock. I'm still fucking wired about it. As I'm telling you right now, you have no idea. It kills me, the fact that cart got sold for $50. Okay, but so it's the ultimate slippage on my end, because I should have been looking in that case. I should have been there. I should have gotten there earlier. I could have found that game. Definitely would have paid $50 for it. That's unbelievable fine. Unfriggin' believable. So I'm making, like I said, the wrap of the story. Like I said, I'm the king of the ass hats. I let that slip through my fingers. I'm an idiot. But better than that is, that's one of those stories that I'm going to tell forever. It's probably the biggest miss in video games that I'll probably ever have, considering I don't do this all the time. Hunting is not a serious thing for me. I only go out every once in a while. But even bigger than that, I'm putting this out to the YouTube audience too, because there is definitely all of us who are collectors and watch game tips. We're all a network. We're all like a family on here, and I'm interested to know. I know what the gentleman who bought this game looked like. So that will never ever leave my mind. So if I'm ever at SGC like this year here in Dallas, or the next year, or when I go home to visit family because I'm from Dallas, if I ever go back there and I see this gentleman, I want to talk to him. I want to sit down and have a beer with him, better yet, and go, good Lord, I can't believe you scored that cart. And And because now, in the grand scheme of things, maybe he'll tell that story again and talk about it, and maybe people won't believe him that he got it for that price, or that he got it from the trading, whatever. But I was there, I can verify it, and for nothing else, I was a part of that story, because I guarantee you, had Robert, one of the employees there, Mike, had I not been there and told them about that, they would have just sold it just like some other card. They had no idea. Now they know. There's 2 games at least, I think, that's confirmed. Both Metal Warrior that Billy got, and a Donkey Kong, or that Donkey Kong cart, that were sold, that were pure gems, that went out the door, that are just, that, you know. So, unbelievable. Anyways, yeah. I would hope that somebody, if the guy who bought there, who knew it, if he came all the way from Dallas, that he's probably a collector. Hopefully he's not a reseller. Like I said, hopefully he's a collector, he's going to keep it in his thing. Hopefully he's got a great story. Maybe he even has a YouTube channel or Twitter or Facebook or whatever. Maybe he can post a reply back. Like I said, that story will be forever with me, and that's a great pickup for you, man. I'm glad you got it, but I hate to say it, but shit, had I only been there a little bit earlier today, I would have got that cart, and this video would have been totally different. I would have been celebrating the fact that I picked it up, such a rare game. But instead, it's your luck, my fault. Now I'm the bad end of this story, you're on the good end, so I'd be interested. I don't know if anyone knows this guy. Maybe you'll hear someone tell the story or post it on some other thing. Like I said, I don't know, I'm wound up, but that's just, it's unreal. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed the story. Or whatever, never know. Maybe through social networking one day I'll meet up with this guy again, and we can have a nice Polaroid picture of me as the asshat and him as the victor.